Comics in rockin Milpitas. Every Wednesday is New Comic Day, and I like to give you some great reasons to get down to your local comic shop and pick up something fun to read. This week, as always, is packed with stuff that's fun to read. Going to start with the Marvel guys. This is X-Men number 2. The, of course, second issue, continuing the massive relaunch of the whole X universe. Been talking up the X books for quite a while now, since back in X-Men Gold, X-Men Blue a little while ago. If you've been under a rock or on the moon for the last like 5 years, grab our Black Cat pack of Powers of X and House of X, grab X-Men number 1, grab this week's number 2, grab a lot of the number 1s that are rolling out, like Fallen Angels number 1. There's been X-Force and Marauders and New Mutants and a bunch of other cool stuff rolling out. Great time to be an X-fan. Great time to come back to the X-Men. Great time to get to know the X-Men. Like I say, if you're a former fan, a current fan, if you've never been a fan, now's the time to check out some X stuff. A lot of great talent, a lot of great writers and artists on all of that stuff. This is the latest issue of The Invaders. This is one of my favorite titles these days. It's selling really strong, everybody digs it, but if for some reason it's flying under your radar, I highly recommend this. Grab the first trade or the first Black Cat pack for issues 1 through 6, catch up to the current issue. Submariner, Captain America, Winter Soldier, all kinds of stuff going on in this book. Great stories, great art, action, drama, everything you want in superhero comics. Like I say, one of my favorite books these days, so make sure Invaders makes it on its way to your list. History of the Marvel Universe. Another one of my favorite titles, because this one's written by Mark Waid. I know this isn't one of those books that the internet is all on fire about, but it's been really fun, and I wanted to highlight this a little bit because, well, anything from Mark Waid is worth your $4. So if you've already read the first few issues, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, pick up the first issue and it will totally suck you in and make you read up through number 5. Black Cat Annual, with the cool J. Scott Campbell cover. You know we love us some Black Cat around here. You know that's a bit of an homage to Peter's first wedding or only wedding, or maybe he's never been married. I don't really know what the continuity is anymore, but everybody loves J. Scott Campbell covers, so you're going to want to pick that one up today. Morbius, the Living Vampire. You can read more about this one in our newsletter this week. I'm a big fan of Morbius. He's totally a C-list Spidey villain, but he's awesome, and it's great to see him in his own title. Cool mix of horror and anti-hero. Like I always say, great stories, great art. Black Panther and the Agents of Wakanda is the first of many team books for this week, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Been a lot going on in this run of Guardians. I know it's one of those books that they stop and relaunch all the time, and so a lot of people have jumped off, but this current run has been really fun. It's about to end again and restart again, but this 1 through 12 has been really good. So if you like the movies, if you're any kind of Guardians fan, you're going to want to pick that one up. Agents of Atlas and Runaways, along with Future Foundation, are your other team books from the Marvel Universe. And Unbeatable Squirrel Girl gets her final issue in number 50. She's probably due for another relaunch anyway. Punisher Soviet from Garth Ennis. Everybody loves when Ennis does the Punisher. Cool new mini. Punisher's getting back in the spotlight again these days. Age of Conan, Valeria, and my favorite, Savage Sword of Conan, are 2 of the 3 Conan books that are rolling out from Marvel these days. Everybody loves barbarian action. And then Star Wars number 74 is just 1 issue away from the climactic conclusion. I watched Mandalorian yesterday, as I'm sure a few billion people did. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, as you know. Been encouraging you guys to check this stuff out from day one. This main Star Wars series bridges the gap between Episode 4 and Episode 5. It's just been tons and tons of fun. Great stories, great art. I love this cover. Again, you can read more about that one in our newsletter. Great stuff there. Target Vader and Fallen Jedi Order. The video game tie-in book rounds out all of your Marvel stuff for the week. Big week for those guys. Great week for DC too. Let's talk these especially cool acetate covers. We've been talking this month about acetate covers, and they open up into another cool picture. Very cool. There's a whole bunch of them, a whole mess of them to choose from this week. This is your latest issue of Detective Comics. I'm not going to open them all up because I don't want to spoil the cool effect for you. This Your latest issue of Wonder Woman, one of my favorite DC titles these days. Batman and the Outsiders, one of the Batman books that might be flying under your radar, but if you're not picking up Outsiders, you're missing out on something cool, and these cool acetate covers gives you an excuse to check the book out. Catwoman, another one of my favorite DC titles these days, another one of my all-time favorite DC characters, as a matter of fact. Again, if you're not currently following Catwoman, this cool acetate cover gives you an excuse to jump in on it. Justice League Odyssey, another one of there's 3 Justice League books rolling out right now. Of the 3, this one might be flying under your radar, but it's really, really awesome. There's Darkseid right there on the cover. Go back to issue number 1, or go back to Justice League No Justice to get in on that one. The Flash, cool Year of the Villain Captain Cold acetate cover there. And Hawkman, another one of my all-time favorite DC characters. Another character that's really, really great to see him in an ongoing book. And this book's really popular too. Great to see all you folks jumping in on Hawkman. That's the last of the acetates, but a lot more to talk about. Superman number 17. You know I'm a big Superman fan. You know I've been talking about Brian Michael Bendis and all of the awesomeness that's been going on with action and Superman and across the entire Super line. It's just been getting better and better, quite honestly. What very few critics he had in the beginning have gone on to criticize other things, because Superman's awesome. And I gotta say, no spoilers, but the next couple issues are going to be really, really huge. Pick up number 17 if you haven't already heard what I'm talking about. Grab this week's 17. Get ready for number 18 before the internet tells the whole world about it. You heard it here first. Event Leviathan number 6. Speaking of Bendis, rounds out the last issue of this cool series. The big conclusion, the big reveal. We finally find out who it is, and quite frankly, I think you're all going to be a little surprised. Tales of the Dark Multiverse, Blackest Night. This series has been a lot of fun. They're doing all of the big famous DC events in the Dark Multiverse. Cool little dark twist on all the big events that you know and love. Everybody everywhere loved Blackest Night, one of the best event books of all time, Marvel, DC, or otherwise. So I'm real excited to see how they do it in the Dark Multiverse. Pick up the one for Nightfall, the one for Death of Superman. A little pricey in the prestige format, but fun stuff. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy teaming up again, spinning out of the events of Heroes in Crisis. Always hilarious to see these two together, and there's a couple cool cardstock covers that go along with this one. Don't usually push alternate covers and stuff, but everybody loves Harley and Poison Ivy. Batman's Grave, written by the all-time great Warren Ellis. Like Mark Waid, I love anything from Warren Ellis. I read anything from Warren Ellis. You read anything with Batman. So this is definitely a book that you're going to want to have in your stack this week. Grab number 1 if you missed it. Like I say, Warren Ellis never disappoints and is always awesome. So make sure you check that out. Gotham City Monsters with Batwoman rounds out your DC stuff, but there's always more DC to talk about. Far Sector is a Green Lantern-esque Young Animals book of the week. Young Animals stuff is always sort of odd and eclectic, but that one looks like fun. Dollhouse is your new Hill House Comics book, also part of the Black Label thing, along with House of Whispers, being your Sandman Universe, formerly known as Vertigo, now known as Black Label book of the week. Always lots and lots of great stuff from the DC guys. Pretty small week for the indie guys, but always great stuff to talk about. Black Hammer Justice League from Dark Horse, teaming up, of course, with DC Comics. You know I've been talking about the great era of mashups that we're living in. Black Hammer is really, really cool. Jeff Lemire is one of the great writers of comics these days. If you don't know much about Black Hammer, pick up the trade for Black Hammer Volume 1, or just dive into this Black Hammer Justice League stuff. Can pick up the Black Cat pack of 1 through 6 if you're wanting to just jump in on the whole thing. And The Return of ElfQuest. It's my other Dark Horse book of the week. Boy, I can't say enough about ElfQuest. This is one of the most unique and most interesting sort of properties in all of comics. It's a little bit all ages, a little bit adult. It's just fascinating stuff. There's a big old trade paperback for all the original ElfQuest stuff if you don't know much about it. Like I say, if you're looking for something different, something fun, something that mixes fantasy and every other genre, try out some ElfQuest, because that stuff's it's impressively good. Oblivion Song is your image book of the week. This week is a really great example to show you the top talent and top books that come from the guys at Image Comics. This one's from Robert Kirkman. He did a zombie book that you might have heard of. He does a few other things. Oblivion Song is one of his better ones. Jason Aaron doing Sea of Stars. I love Jason Aaron. I've loved his Thor stuff from the beginning. I'm a huge sci-fi fan, so this one's a lot of fun. Brian Azzarello doing Moonshine. If you like the dark and heavy stuff, Brian Azzarello is your guy, and Moonshine has been just, well, dark and twisted from the very beginning. That's good stuff. The aforementioned Jeff Lemire doing Gideon Falls, another one of the big hits from Image. And then Jeff Lemire's also got Family Tree, which is your first issue Gotta Have It Image Book of the Week, because there's always a first issue Gotta Have It Image Book of the Week. And well, like I say, ever since Green Arrow and Black Hammer and all kinds of other stuff, Jeff Lemire's established himself as one of the best these days, so give Family Tree a try. Vampirella Red Sonja is my Dynamite book of the week. Last week gave me an opportunity to show you some of the other things that Dynamite does. This week gives me an opportunity to show you some of my favorite Dynamite. I love what they do with Red Sonja. I love what they do with Vampirella, Warlord of Mars, all their licensed property stuff. Seeing these two characters together is a whole lot of fun. Kind of like Harley and Poison Ivy. They're two very different characters that just seem to go so well together. Great stuff. Hellmouth is your Buffy Angel Boom Studios Whedonverse book of the week. Been talking up how Joss Whedon took all of his Whedonverse stuff over to Boom Studios. He started Buffy and Angel all over again. This Hellmouth is sort of the event book that ties the two series together. So pick up Buffy number 8, pick up Angel number 6, pick up Hellmouth number 1, and you'll see I'm always talking about the awesomeness of Joss Whedon. And Robotech Remix is your Titan book of the week, because everybody loves giant robots punching each other. Good stuff there. Good stuff for the All Ages Week too. Marvel Action Spider-Man. Been talking up the great job IDW and Marvel have done teaming up on their All Ages line. There's this one, there's the Avengers, Black Panther, Captain Marvel. They do Star Wars Adventures. I love All Ages superhero stuff like this one, like DC's 100-page giant superhero girls. Pick up this one, pick up that 100-page giant for Teen Titans Go from a couple of weeks ago. If you got a younger reader, if you're looking for something light, something fun, you can't beat 100 pages of all ages action. Good stuff there. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, is the core My Little Pony title for all of you core My Little Pony fans. And Uncle Scrooge rounds out a big week of awesomeness, because I love the great stuff IDW does with the Disney books. Always fun to see Uncle Scrooge back in comics. Great week of stuff, so check those shipping lists, get down to your shop, pick up something fun to read. That's all we got for you for this week. You can check us out at black-cat-comics.com. Check out the especially cool Shopify store, where you might find some things that you don't see here in the brick and mortar. Check out the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. Check out the podcast at soundcloud.com. Or just get on down here to the good old brick and mortar in rockin' Milpitas. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.